What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's day 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft. We're live here on the Buccateers podcast. As we are every year on day 3 of the NFL Draft, we let the onesies and twosies get out there for night 1 and 2, and then we try and bring you the best, latest, and greatest coverage of day 3 of the NFL Draft. Our great co-host Huncho is here to join us alongside Tampa Tones. Huncho, how you doing this morning, my friend? Happy Saturday, happy NFL Draft. Today is the cream of the crop.
Hey, what's going on, Tones? I'm all right. It's a little rainy down here in Florida and Tampa, but I'm pretty stoked and I'm happy about these picks we got, man. I'm ready to get it in.
A little rainy over here too, so don't worry about it, brother. We do have a couple of notorious picks and trades that just went down. We have a lot of shuffling around for day 3 of the NFL Draft. We have a lot of movement going on, a lot of notable names that just have been taken in round 4. We have a big running back that's on the move here in a rare day 3 trade consistent of a veteran. So Huncho and I are going to break that all down to you guys here in just a minute and a half. We're going to roll the intro, and then we're coming live at you with the Buccateers draft coverage, day 3. Don't go anywhere. Huncho and Tampa Tones until whenever the Bucs make their first pick of the 5th round. We'll be here live to bring you guys that pick. We're not going anywhere. We're going to make sure you guys get that pick live from us, whether it's me and Hunch, just me, just Hunch if I pass out or something, whatever. We're here on the Buccateers day 3 NFL Draft. Let's get right into it. After the intro, we'll see you guys in 90 seconds. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks
Donovan.
like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Everybody, happy Saturday. Day 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft. Your Buccaneers have made 3 draft picks to this day. We have 2 5th rounders, 2 6th rounders, a 7th rounder still left. So, oh baby, we got room to get spicy in this one. We have notable names flying off the board. We have NFL trades happening. We have a national championship winning quarterback just getting selected. Huncho, we got a lot to go over, my friend. How are you? Happy Saturday. I love day 3 of the NFL Draft. We got Jeremy joining us on YouTube. He joined us last episode. We love you, Jeremy. Hope all is well to you on this fine Saturday, brother. Huncho, how's your Saturday going? And what's your thoughts on day 3 of the NFL Draft? I know a lot of people feel different about it.
Yeah, this is I'm doing good, man. This is the make or break time, man. I'm easy to pick in the earlier rounds, but when you get to these type of rounds, this way you find out what you're going to build your depth and make your Super Bowl team, man.
And that's what the great Bill Polian once said, old Colts general manager Bill Polian. You know, you might remember him for drafting Peyton Manning over Ryan Leaf, but Bill Polian once said, hey, anybody could draft in the first 3 rounds. It's really who drafts in rounds 4 through 7 who are effective, who are the cream of the crop if you have those draft picks. And if you make well with those draft picks, those are really the home run picks on years to come. And Huncho, speaking of something for years to come, we just seen Georgia national championship winning quarterback Stetson Bennett getting drafted here by the Rams. Once Matthew Stafford retires, do you believe that Stetson Bennett may have a chance to be their quarterback for years to come?
I mean, he has an opportunity. I mean, I don't know how long Matthew Stafford has. He's a gunslinger, and no telling if he get injured, they can have a suitable guy behind him to come in and play, and pick up. I see him as a nice fit. He's in with the right coach that can groom him to probably be one of a good feeling. We'll see what his future holds, but for now, that's a great pick for them.
And we are also joined by Matt Brem live on Facebook. We appreciate you giving us a like on Bucs Life News Facebook page. Jeremy says still plenty of corners and safeties left, and you know that two things that Light's looking to add. I'll be interested to see, Huncho. I thought we'd maybe move up into round 4. There's still a chance as there's about 5 picks left in round 4, but we might even move up in round 5 because we do have 2 fifth-round picks, 2 sixth-round picks, and a 7th-round pick remaining. So we could either package a 5th and a 7th to move up into round 5, or to me, what I like and what I would prefer is if we package a 6th and a 7th to move into an additional 3rd 5th-round pick. So then we'd have 3 round 5s and a round 6, and then you give up a round 6 and round 7 to move back into the back end of round 5. If that makes sense to you, Hunch. I'm not sure if are you with us, Hunch? Or we'll try and get Hunch back. It seems like he may have been down and out right now. Yeah, I could hear you now, Hunch. Did you hear my thoughts about potentially trading back into the 5th?
Yes, yes, yes. That'll be amazing, and that's known for Jason Light to move up in the draft. We did a little shifting earlier in the draft, but typically we move up and down. So we'll see what holds, and I see what Jason Light has in store for us.
Yeah, and it's going to get really interesting as well because Jason Light normally trades up, but then Pewter Report made a good point earlier. They said something along the lines of this. They said, hey, maybe Jason Light's going to keep all these picks for once because he's going to want to try and get as many jabs at it as possible and hoping that one pans out because they think it is a deeper draft. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, I'd find it hard to believe that 2/5, 2 6, and a 7th would all be able to make this roster. Huncho, I think it'd be the wise move to try and at least trade up a little bit.
Yes, yes, it will be. If we're in the 4th round, correct?
Yep, we have 5 picks remaining in the 4th round. The Bengals, the Steelers, the Bears, the Vikings, and the Patriots, and then Jaguars, Bills, and Colts kick us off in round 5.
Yeah, because see, Jordan Whitehead, he was picked in the 4th round, and he became a solid player. So, I mean, you get quality depth still in the 4th round, and 5th round. That's where you typically just kind of roam around and try to see you get some guys that provide you some depth. And if you find a gem, then that's great for you and your franchise. But these picks right here, you're gonna see good depth guys that can grow.
I definitely agree with you. As the likes of a Kate Otten type last year, I think the Bucs are really happy that
Right.
they got guys like him and Co Keefe on this same day last year. We've seen them make some splash plays last year, and they're going to be critical into the development of the Bucs as the season goes on in 2023 and beyond. And then Hunch, we've had some late breaking news as well. DeAndre Swift got traded, and we kind of knew this was coming. The Lions did draft a running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, in round 1. And then they also brought in David Montgomery this offseason. And they had DeAndre Swift, so they didn't need Swift anymore. They traded him and a 7th-round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 7th-round pick and a 5th-round pick in the 2025 NFL draft. So to me, Eagles make a good move there. They really have nothing to lose by this as they essentially get DeAndre Swift for a 5th-round pick. And at one point in time, this dude was one of the more up-and-coming running backs in the league, one of the more must-watch running backs in the league. I think they're stacked. I think that Philly is having a hell of a 2 days. I think they're winning the NFL draft, not only with their draft picks, but now with this trade. And additionally, I think you could start seeing more teams kind of follow a similar blueprint as the years go on. Maybe not with the Georgia, but maybe a lot of teams try and kind of get compatible with the college, in Alabama, a Georgia, a Clemson, a Florida, and maybe try and get acquainted with those guys and really stockpile them and see how appropriately they move up the ladder to the next level. And I think it really helps rookie developments when you're around a lot of familiar faces as well. So I think the Eagles and Jeremy attest to it as well. And so does Nick. Nick and Jeremy both making Philly comments. Huncho, I think they're winning these 2 days, or
Yes.
well, now 3 days. I'm sorry, 3 days to this point.
Yes, Philly has been absolutely killing it. They're building a stellar defense right now, and I mean, just adding those young key pieces. What they just got the cornerback. I mean, the cornerback. They also added some more guys to that defensive line that's already quite nasty. And
Jalen Carter, I thought, was a phenomenal pick for them
right,
because they could kind of, lead him in the right direction with some leadership on that team.
exactly, and there's a lot of leadership there, and you could just have a team full of leaders there, man. It's gonna you're gonna flourish into something good. And even with that pickup, you got Rashard Penny already there. So you add DeAndre Swift with him, and you have a nice tandem 1-2 punch at running back with a nice line and Jalen Hurts and your wide receivers. And I would just like to add, yeah, that trend moving forward, that would be great to add a couple pieces from the same school. I believe Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were the beginning of the start of something, and also I believe it was another team with a quarterback. I want to say Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sure, but it's it's becoming a trend now, and I feel like a lot of teams should follow that. Maybe because if a powerhouse team that has quite a few good players on it, you can build around those type of players.
And we also, I couldn't agree with you more, Hunch, as we continue to dissect the draft. We got Guillermo Romero joining us on Facebook. Thank you there, sir. We got James Rubright, the Godfather, showing us love per usual. So a lot of people tune into the Buccateers on day 3 of the NFL draft as we make our way to the Bucs. Busy rounds 5 and 6. We're going to be with you until at least the Bucs make their first day 3 pick. We assure you guys that here on the Buccateers. Jeremy says they even stole Sidney Brown. Huncho, you and Jeremy, Bucko, myself, there are a lot of Sidney Brown advocates wanting to draft the safety from U of I. He looked like he has a high ceiling, and a lot of U of I defensive backs are getting drafted this NFL draft as well. Thoughts on Sidney Brown not ending up as a Buck quick?
I wanted him, as you seen in my mock draft. I had wanted Sidney Brown in the second round, but as you see, he fell down, and somebody grabbed him, and he's going to be a good piece for Philly with that defense, man. They're killing it right now.
And the Bears just drafted wide receiver Tyler Scott from Cincinnati. I think that's a phenomenal pick right there for the Chicago Bears. As Alan Sullivan is joining us live now on Facebook as well. We appreciate you joining into the Buccateers, Alan. And Jeremy says it's heartbreaking. Jeremy, if you want, we're on until the Bucs make their first pick at the very least this round. Feel free to join in with Huncho and I if you want to connect. If not, if you want to just keep commenting, that's 100% fine as well. But as we dig through day 3 here, Huncho, Tyler Scott, I think that's a pretty good pick for the Bears. He had 54 catches last year for 900 yards and about 9 touchdowns out of Cincinnati. I think the Bears are doing a nice job of trying to help support for their young quarterback, Justin Fields, something that we didn't see a lot of him out of last year, but now this year's draft, they got Darnell Wright. They're drafting wide receivers. I think the Bears are heading in the right direction in a very winnable, to me, probably now the worst division in football, the NFC North. As you got, Hunch, whenever you could. I think you're on mute if you're trying to say something. But the NFC North now has Packers without Aaron Rodgers. They lost a lot of power there. I think Jordan Love's going to take at least a year to acclimate himself into that role. And then you got the Detroit Lions, who, yeah, they had a pretty good year last year, but I don't think they're no shoe-in for a guaranteed division win or even a playoff appearance at that. Then you got the Minnesota Vikings, who are doing a mini retooling, a mini cleanup a little bit over the past couple of seasons. We've seen them get rid of Thielen. We've seen maybe Dalvin Cook's on the way out. We've seen Irv Smith Jr. isn't back in Minnesota, so they're going over some hardships and changes. Hunch, I think the Bears are really having a nice 3 days here, and I really think that they could put themselves in position to win the worst division in football, which is the NFC North.
Yes, they're adding some pieces and also building around some guys. You still got Justin Fields there. He's grooming. He looked like he showed some progression last year, and just building up that defense and restacking. And if it's the worst division in the league besides ours, then go for it. I see. I want to see a different era of the Bears, and they don't typically have to worry about Aaron Rodgers this year.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. And now we got a special guest, Jeremy, joining the show. He's been on the last couple as well. He goes from chatting on the Facebooks to on the webcam. Jeremy, how the heck are you doing, brother? Thanks for joining us. And what's your gut feel been so far in the first 2.5 days or so of the 2023 NFL draft for our Bucs?
I must say, man, that kid from Pittsburgh, man, it totally, caught me off guard. I really didn't expect us to get him. But when I watched more of his highlight tape the last couple of nights, because I've been all over it, wow. This kid's going to be really amazing. That's Vita Vea, more speed. Because the one thing Todd Bowles did say was we got to get faster, get after the quarterback. So I think that's a huge pick right there. More of a steal, if it pans out well. Cody Mont, good call on that one. You called that one right off the bat, Tones. Good for you, man. Hey, the dude, he's big. He's gonna be a guard. So it's looking like we're gonna go to Luke Gadecki at right tackle. That's what it's looking like to me, as far as that goes. And then
I think you're right on that, and I think that'd be the way to go myself, Jeremy. We were both fond of that the other night. I think you're 100% right, and I think that's the direction the Bucs at least try and take here.
No, I agree, and then I also think Yaya Diaby, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yaya Diaby, I believe, something like that. We'll get used to it as the months go on.
Yeah. Well, I remember I mocked him a few times later on, like the 5th round. But hey, I'll take him the 3rd. Dude's very versatile, and I like his attitude and confidence. Like watching him doing his press conference last night, he was really hyping it up, saying, get back to the Super Bowl, just watch. I like that confidence. That's good. That's what this defense needs to get in there and be prepared every Sunday, man. So now we just wait. I think our next pick it's got to be a corner safety. It's got to be or a tight end. I'm just surprised that there's so many, pretty good DBs and safeties out there, like Jamie Robinson from Florida State's out there still. That guy Clark from Louisville, who's like more of a nickel inside corner, he's still there. I've been keeping my eye out on it, and then. So that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be corner or safety with this next pick.
And yeah, you had Yaya mocked to the Bucs, although a little later. That's okay. You still hit on the pick, and so did our co-host Stunna. So we had a couple good ties to the Yaya pick, and then we had a Cody mock tie as well. And honestly, although it didn't pan out, Huncho hit the nail on the head, and we hit the nail on the head. I said that Will Levis, I thought, would fall into round 2, was my one big surprise on my radio show that I appear on a couple times a week, a couple weeks back. And then Huncho actually thought of the idea that we may end up with him at pick 19. He was available at 19. We didn't go to him at 19. Huncho, what's your thoughts on having the availability to take Will Levis, passing up on Will Levis, and then the kid Kalijah Cansey as a whole? I'm very excited. I think we're drafting a lot of athletic freaks. I shared a video on Twitter of this Kalijah Cansey kid. He picked up a running back scat back screen like it was nothing. He got blocked a little bit, shed the block, and then it was against Virginia Tech. The running back caught it. he had about 20, 30 yards of open green in front of him. Kalijah Cansey stopped him in his tracks, said, "You're not going anywhere today, little fella." Cansey threw him to the ground. I'm very excited about the athleticism he brings to the table. Huncho, are you looking forward to having him, or were you hoping we still went Will Levis at 19th?
No, I was surprised, like Josh. I mean about Jeremy. I'm sorry about that. Like Jeremy about the pick, and I'm excited. I've been looking at his tape. I mean, he's very fast off the ball. He's a little stocky. You know what I'm saying? They probably beef him up a little more, but just going back to like what Jeremy said, Todd Bowles wants to get fast off the line. He wants us to attack. Last year we didn't. Vita Vea led us in sacks, and that's not the recipe you really want to have on your defensive line. So, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. I was surprised, but I'm all for it. I like the pick. I like the other pick, the bye, however you say his name. That pick, I love it. You know, we get it added to the trenches right now because you know what I'm saying, we're not rebuilding, but we're not prime right now to make a Super Bowl run. So right now you want to build on the inside going out, and that's what you need to do with when you start with your trenches right there. And far as the guy with the missing teeth, I mean, next to with Ryan Jensen on that
Hold on,
line, man.
Hunch. Hold that thought a minute, Hunch. You're on the Cody Mock. I just want to break into this quick as we had a notable name just get selected. A quarterback just goes. We might get a quarterback run here. We just seen Stetson Bennett go to the Rams. Now Purdue's Aiden O'Connell gets
Oh,
drafted to the Las Vegas Raiders as the Raiders add a backup quarterback to Brian Hoyer and to their obvious starter over there, Jimmy Garoppolo. So Garoppolo, Hoyer, and now Aiden O'Connell joins that quarterback room in Vegas. But continue with your Cody Mock thoughts, Hunch. Sorry, guys, if Jeremy or Hunch, if I ever step on toes, it's because we have a notable selection. And I consider notable selections bigger names, kids from Florida, or any quarterback that gets drafted. But Hunch, continue, brother.
yeah, I was just saying, he's with him, Ryan Jensen paired on that line. I mean, you got the Ginger Warriors right there, man. Because these guys here, they're nasty. I watch his tape, and this man plays through the tackles. He's down the field. He has aggressive nature about him, and he reminds me so much of Ryan Jensen. And just adding that type of depth on the line, it's going to be amazing. Just see what we're going to see where he plays at. You know, Jason likes to try new things and shuffle people around. So I'm with Jeremy when he said Gadecki might play right tackle and you switch Jensen. I mean, you switch Wirfs to the left side and see what goes on. I mean, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, a good nasty defense. I mean offensive line. And to see about Will Levis, how he slid like that. I didn't predict that. Yeah, I wanted him then, but to be honest, now you sit and we have our quarterback set and this is not a luxury type pick that you need in the draft right now. So you just need to build on your offensive line and your defensive line and build back. And he slid all the way to the second round. I know nobody's seen that coming, but you know, hopefully he bounced back and he has a great year, and he does a good job where he's at.
It's going to be interesting to see. Jeremy, I want to get your thoughts on everything Huncho just said here in a minute, but it'll be interesting to see as the years go on. Anthony Richardson ends up as a Colt. Will Levis ends up as a Titan. CJ Stroud ends up as a Texan. And then Trevor Lawrence is over there as well. So there's going to be 3 rookies quarterbacks from this class to follow over there. And then I thought it was hilarious the other day on Tampa Sports Radio. I heard a caller try and say we got slower and how Kalijah Cansey was just a knockoff Nacho. I'm sorry. I love all our Super Bowl team. Don't get me wrong. I view highly of anyone who helped us win a ring. But when you could get younger, quicker, and you could develop, I know guys like Nacho, Ronald Jones, Blaine Gabbert, a lot of people showed affection towards fan favorites such as those. But if they're not a core piece of the team, a Chris Godwin, a Mike Evans, a Ryan Jensen, or so forth, you know, I find it a hard time to believe that people have a hard time upgrading. Jeremy, thoughts on anything Huncho or I just threw at you into the table?
Yeah, I mean, Will Levis, supposedly he's battling a foot injury or something like that. And I guess he's been not taking doctor's advice on possible surgery or something like that.
Maybe it's a
Supposedly,
mayonnaise.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
Definitely the mayonnaise.
yeah, you put mayo in your coffee, man. That's not cool. That's not cool, man. Down here in Florida, you'll get shot down here in Florida. If you put mayo in coffee. I gotta give Josh Capo credit, man. Shout out to him, man. He tried the mayo in the coffee yesterday. Yeah, I think it was last night, and I was like, oh. I was looking at Josh. I'm like, blah. It would have came right back out. But
I
anyway,
feel like the mayo and coffee would like be a weird like fermentation, like a weird substance. I feel like it would be like chunky, kind of like if an expired cream went into your coffee or something.
exactly. No way. But
That's why Will Levis fell, maybe. No, but go on, Jeremy.
no. But besides that, I think he's still got a lot of development to learn, and I think him going to Tennessee will be a good move for him. He'll sit behind Ryan Tannehill this year, and then if Tannehill doesn't show up, if he gets injured again, because he's known to be injury prone, then he might have a shot at playing. Because they gave up on Malik Willis. I think he'll probably either get traded.
And he was a third-round pick.
Early too, they gave up on him quick.
For some reason, they just gave up on him. They don't believe in him. I mean, when they benched him for Joshua Dobbs the last 2 games of the season, I'm like, whoa, like really? I mean, you drafted this kid to be the pretty much replacement for Ryan Tannehill. That's why that general manager got fired, because the new general manager, he didn't draft him. So Malik Willis is in a tough spot right now. I think he'll be either getting released or traded later on, or he may stick around and try to prove himself. I mean, but
At this point, if I'm Tennessee, I'd probably just hang on to him and hope that, maybe trade Tannehill or after this year cut ties with him. And then moving forward, you got Will Levis, Malik Willis. You say, hey, the best man wins. The other ones are backup. And at least you have both of them under decent, cheap contracts for the next couple of years. Because at this point, what you think maybe a 6th or 7th round pick for Malik Willis? Probably, maybe not even that after his. I mean, like you said, Joshua Dobbs beat him out last year, right? So,
and they just signed him. They signed him during the season. Like Dobbs came on late edition, and he just took the spotlight from him, man. And like I said, I mean, it is what it is. But at least Will Levis will at least have a year to learn. That's the perfect situation for him. I just think him coming here would have drew a lot of controversy between Baker, Kyle Trask. You got to give Trask a chance, man. Let him play with the starters. Let's see what we got. And legit, we got a good roster. We got a good roster to compete. We're not playing for a number 1 overall pick here. We are playing for competing for our playoff spot, even the division. Fans keep jumping on the bandwagon for the quarterbacks for next year. But let's focus on this year right now. And I feel like, Levis falling, it might be a good thing. Maybe it's a good situation where he's at, we'll see. It makes the division a lot more fun. And then back to the O-line, we're fully depth, man. We got a veteran, guard tackle. I keep forgetting his name. We got him, who I think could be the left guard, putting that to
the dude from the
Tristan.
Chargers,
then,
Fears or whatever. I forget his name exactly
Yeah.
as well, but we all know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they might use him as a swing tackle to replace I forgot his name. He wasn't my favorite,
Donovan Smith.
He won that pretty much. No, not Donovan Smith. He was the bad
Josh Wells.
Yeah, Josh Wells.
Josh Wells. Yeah,
he is our Josh Wells replacement because he could fill in every position he could.
Mm-hmm. And I think Mogg will have a fun time battling with Robert Hainsey. I think Hainsey's got a good shot at winning that guard position. But if not, I mean, it's more depth, man. We were so down in injuries last year with the offensive line. It was so bad. I mean, first Jensen, losing him for the all the season was terrible. And then we lost Donovan for a few games because he injured his elbow, and then dealing with personal problems. I guess I never knew what happened. And then Tristan, he got hurt in the Cleveland game. We thought he was done for the year. I mean, remember when that lineman fell on his leg like that? We thought he was done.
Yeah, I was at that game, and all the Bucs fans, when we had a collective gasp in the air when we seen Tristan Wirfs go down. I mean, we thought it was going to get a lot uglier than it looked. I mean, or than it was. It looked a lot uglier than it was. I thought right then and there we thought worse is going to be down and out for a while. As ladies and gentlemen, we officially have the Bucs approaching. I believe we're up within the next 10 picks here or so. So exciting times here as we find out, or we're about to find out in about 30 minutes or so. Our newest Buccaneer member is we're on the Buccateers Live. We got Jeremy J Lo in the house. We got Hunch in the house. We got Joey from Cleveland Me joining in. Speaking of Joe from Cleveland Me, he's a Colts guy. I think they just got a pretty good value pick. Cornerback Darius Rush, 138th overall out of South Carolina. Huncho, let me ask you this. I think Jeremy brings up a good point. My pops and I discussed it last night as well. I think if the Bucs did add Will Levis or any other quarterback in round 2 or 3, it would only bring another anger to the table because then you have 3 meh QBs at that point in time between Baker, Trask, and another guy. I think Baker and Trask are similar enough, and both still have possible upside remaining to battle it out. I'm completely cool with going with a quarterback in round 6 or round 7 who knows his role. He'll know he'll be the third guy. He'll know he'll be the practice squad guy. Then we got our veteran in Baker and our potential young and upcomer in Trask. I think that'd be an ideal quarterback room. I don't think it made much sense for Bowles to cause more chaos with the Will Levis type figure because then, Levis, Mayfield, Trask, is there really much of a difference? I mean, yeah, Levis could be good, but so could Trask and so could Baker at this point in time. He's still young enough to be effective. I really like the route of a potential six. Oh, another quarterback taken. They're starting to fly like hotcakes as the Cardinals just select Clayton Tune out of Houston, Huncho.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I also agree with Jeremy 100%. Yes, it would have caused some controversy and with the quarterbacks. And we have our quarterbacks set right now. They had a playbook. They're working at it. And let those guys compete and see what Kyle Trask has. He does need a chance with the starters also, and get his time because we did draft him in the 2nd round. So it's about time that we need to see if he's going to fit the bill or is Baker going to step up to the plate and be that guy that we need to have on our roster, lead the team. And then we go from there. If one of the two or both can't do the job, you understand what I'm saying? So yes, I had favorites. Yeah, I wanted to see Will Levis, but just doing more research and coming away with what we did come away with, I'm satisfied and I'm happy the way that we did go.
And fellas, we still have a plethora of quarterbacks left here. I mean, Clayton Tune got drafted, Aiden O'Connell got drafted, but we still have a couple of guys left, including the one I liked in the late rounds, Malik Cunningham. There's still Dorian Thompson Robinson out of UCLA. There's still Jaron Hall from BYU. I mean, there are still quarterbacks left. Tanner McKee. We have seen Stetson Bennett taken at this point in time as well. But the Buccaneers can do their yeah, I'm glad he's not a Buccaneer.
I'm sorry to interrupt you on that one.
No, you're good, bro. Anything you ever want to say, feel free. But we have done our due diligence on all these draft picks, and it wouldn't surprise me to see a guy get drafted here. But let's talk about Yaya Diaby quick before we move on, fellas, and before we do get a new Buccaneer here. It looks imminently at this point. The Browns pick is in. Colts are coming up. Then we're within 8 or 9 picks or so. But Yaya Diaby from Louisville, I shared on Twitter last night. My Twitter is at Tampa Tones for those interested. He is jacked, man. There's a picture of him. His muscles look like anacondas, wrapped around someone. That's how big this dude looks. I want to get your take first, Jeremy. Then we'll go to Huncho. Yaya Diaby, 9 sacks last season at Louisville. One of those guys who came on a little late. I think he finally found himself, and I don't think it was ever necessarily him doing the wrong things to prepare, but I think his body just matured and his game just matured over the past couple years. Kind of a late bloomer. I'm really excited about that pick, and I think our edge is now going to be exciting with Shaq Barrett and Cam Gill, Anthony Nelson, JTS, and now you throw Yaya Diaby into the mix. I know last year we tried to pick Andre Anthony out of LSU in round 7 to help for the rush. That didn't help.
Another quarterback.
We released Andre Anthony right away. Is Huncho just spoils my pick here. No, I'm kidding. There's DTR. He just goes to Cleveland. I think that's a phenomenal pick. I think he fits the Deshaun Watson type backup mold as well, just in case Watson, well, at this point between injury and who the hell knows what allegations may come his way. But Jeremy, what 2 things here. Thoughts on the quarterbacks flying off the board? Will we see potentially the Bucs draft a Malik Cunningham or another quarterback? And 2, thoughts on Yaya Diaby and the current state of our edge rushing room now that he brings his big muscles and his 9 sacks from Louisville last season to the table?
Well, first and foremost, quarterback Clayton Tune. That was a guy I was really hopeful that he would have landed us. I like the kid. But I think where he's going, he's got a good opportunity to go in there, maybe even start in place of what's his name, Kyler Murray. So, but as far as quarterbacks go, Malik Cunningham would have been good, but also Hall from BYU, he actually had a pre-draft visit with the Bucs, so that could be a quarterback we could end up taking with the 5th round pick. I hope not. I just think we need to go corner or safety here. That's probably our next best option, truthfully.
Yeah.
But back to Yaya, I like his energy. I watched some of his highlight tape, and he's very quick, versatile, and he's pretty good getting to the quarterback. And I think he'll provide great depth, in case Shaq is not ready, because obviously it's looking like it's going to be Nelly and JTS until Shaq gets better. I know he said on the Loose Cannons that he would be ready for week 1, but with those injuries, you never know. He's probably not going to play the same. You don't want to rush something like that back.
Right.
So I think Yaya will come in there and possibly push, like JTS to get the train going.
Yes, and
I think
agree with
JTS
you.
needs that push. Go ahead.
Yes, I was saying I agree with you completely. JTS he needs to get a little more push because we are getting a little slimmer or muscular, whatever it may be, and quicker on the line. And the Yaya pick just kind of brings that speed. I remember one of the defensive linemen we had before, and Noah Spence, that we had drafted, and we had high hopes for him. And he was a quick twitch. Yeah, I know, man. Those injuries killed him, and he couldn't get right. He couldn't battle through it. But we had high hopes for Noah Spence. And Yaya, he kind of reminds me of a Noah Spence with more muscular, more solid, and hopefully he could stay healthy. But if he can pan out, great pick. I love our defensive picks and our offense. I'm not mad. Like, those were outstanding picks, and I feel like the next pick, I'm really up in the air. You're saying safety. I'm with that. I feel like we also gonna go running back soon. So you never know, right? Where we're gonna go get our quarterback. I believe we have 2 fifths left, 2 fifths and
2 fifths, 2 6, and a 7th.
Oh yeah, so I definitely might see us trading up to get somebody in either the next round and or even move up quicker in the 5th round if we still have a guy that we see on our board that we want. But either way, I want to see, because Jason Light, he's a guy that he's gonna go always grab some guys that you might not be aware of, or the big name guys. Like when the first pick of the draft I had no clue, no on the radar, and it was surprising. But I trust in Light, and I feel like that pick he's gonna work out. And he loves his small school guys on offensive line, nasty guys, and he fits the bill. I like those guys too, and it's just the toothless thing is already a trend going on. I know we're gonna have some things going around that. Tampa always embraces whatever you have going on, the ginger, the red hair, the teeth missing, whatever it may be about you. And we have those. Then we have an animal with Tristan Wirfs. Come on, man! Like, this guy jumped out of pool. Let's not forget that. This guy, he's just built different, man. And
he's looking like a true leader, man.
Yes, and I expect for him to get a C this year, man, because he's stepping up, and he's actually being that vocal leader, and he's playing it on he's doing it on the field. He just got his contract, his 5th-year option picked up. So we're gonna see. I got a lot of high hopes for him, and us building this depth around this team. And I agree with you a lot, Jeremy. When focus on this year and what we're going to do this year. We're not playing for the number one pick. We're playing to compete and see what we can get with it, and then from there we can build on the pieces and add around or subtract on what we need to fix our team to be more competitive, to make a push to the Super Bowl.
And I
And
think you guys hit the nail on the head quick with playing for this year. And I think although we are retooling, I think you see the Bucs playing for this year as we keep Devin White, right? Because there's a really good chance after this year Devin White is gone in free agency. And I think if we were kicking the can down the road, we would have shipped off Devin White by now. But Todd Bowles loves Devin White. Jason Light does too. They not only think, keeping him here is best for this team winning this year, but maybe if Devin White's around, we could win the NFC South potentially this year, and maybe we could get him in a contract. And I think that's a good point, Jeremy. You said Kalijah Cansey barely had any discussions with the Bucs. I think that's part of the way Jason Light likes to operate and move, as we heard from Yaya Diaby as well, how he barely heard from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Cody Mock, a lot of people had him to the Bucs just based on his looks and draft profile, how they were similar to Jason Light guys. But good points all around there, fellas, on not only playing for this year, and we are with keeping a guy like Devin White around, and the Jason Light radar, how he kind of likes to move in silence.
Definitely. With White, we definitely need White for what Atlanta's doing over there. Atlanta's definitely got. Oh, hey, what's up, little man? What's
little
up?
girl.
Little
Oh,
girl,
my
we got
bad. I'm sorry.
No,
a
it's
little
good. It's good.
buckaroo on the show.
We
Oh
got
yeah,
a special guest. Go ahead.
special guest. This is Gracie. Say
Hey,
hi.
Gracie. Like
Gracie's
I can't see you.
she's the youngest we've ever had on the Buccateers.
Yeah, for so many.
Probably the most knowledgeable
Yeah.
we've ever had too.
Definitely the most good looking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I got a face
Face
for
to face.
radio, so that's all good. But honored to have Gracie join the Buccateers, as she's hyped up watching Papa Jeremy discuss the Bucs draft to this point so
Yeah.
far. And we do have a pick coming up, fellas. Let's see now. We're nearing that draft
Yeah.
pick. We did just see the Colts make a trade with the Vikings. Guys, any thoughts or expectations on what the Bucs will do with their next pick?
I'm, I'm,
Jeremy.
oh my bad, Hunter. But I'm thinking this has got to be Jamie Robinson, Florida State. He can play safety. He can play corner. I think we'll finally get that safety depth because all we got is 3 safeties. So why not take Jamie Robinson, who I know the Bucs really like a lot. I know Peter Report's been watching him. And I know JC loves him a lot too. So I think it's got to be either him or the corner from Louisville, Clark, the nickel. We really need a nickel, and I don't see Zion McCollum being that nickel. He needs more time to get in there and learn. Hopefully this offseason he'll be working on his traits because that man got abused last year so many times in the deep ball.
Nasty. He played good on special teams, but
Yeah.
other than that, he got abused.
Man, and
Yeah,
there was a lot of rumors that the Bucs were interested in Tariq Woolen. We ended up with Zion McCollum, but Woolen would have been quite the nice pick. The fellow small school defensive back. I'd still have hope for Zion McCollum. I think his physical attributes are there, but he's need a little player growth and player development. He needs a little bit coach speak from Todd Bowles in the off season and get coached up a little bit. I agree with you guys.
His first
He is
year.
a raw talent.
It's his first year. It's the same thing. A lot of picks that came out with their first year just didn't get it to the second year. I can say the same thing. Rojo looked terrible. I mean, he wasn't the best. He didn't play on, but he got better as time went on. In the first year. Hopefully, that's the same scenario with Logan Hall. Also, but hopefully he just steps up to another level this year. Also.
Yeah, well, Jeremy, thoughts on? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying Logan Hall, I expect to have a big season. I think he's finally going to step up and look like a stud out there. And then plus, I think there's a good chance Wayne Golston might be back because he started following Cansey on Instagram.
And Diaby, I noticed.
I think Yeah, so I think he's willing to come in, be either a mentor or not, take his spot back. But I would not mind a William Golston return, a veteran who knows the
Mhm.
system. I mean, that's just something I'm throwing out there when you bring up, Derek Hall. I think I think he's finally going to step up. I think he's going to look good this year, after the first year, because like Scott Reynolds says on Pewter Report, these guys in the first year aren't going to look great. You got to give them time to mesh, and it takes time. And like he broke it down with all the defensive tackles and defensive ends that have been drafted here. In the first year, they only had 2 or 3 sacks. Even the great like Warren Sapp only had like 2 or 3 sacks his first year. Gerald McCoy only had 2 or 3 sacks his first year because he ended up getting hurt at the end of the year. So Derek Carr bit things this year. Vita
Did
Vea's going
Cadillac
to do
get
his
hurt? Did,
thing.
did Cadillac get hurt his first year?
Not his first year, his second year.
All right, all
No,
right.
second year he did, and then I believe the third year he tore his ACL. Poor guy, that
Was a monster, man.
terrible. Oh my
We have a
goodness.
question that comes in from Pops real quick as we discuss the
Pop, what's up?
draft history. Pops is tuning in. What's up, Pops? He says, "Do you guys think the Bucs will take a kicker this draft? We know Jason Light has taken kickers before. We've taken Roberto Aguayo. We've taken Matt Gay. This offseason, we released Ryan Suckup as a cap casualty.
No,
And to be honest,
we
as
signed
much
one.
as we all love Suckup, he just doesn't have a deep enough leg for an offense like the Buccaneers. So there's a couple kickers left. We've seen one go off the board yesterday out of Michigan. And do you guys think there's any chance that the Bucs end up
No,
with one in day 3? Huncho, you say no.
no, we just signed a kicker, I believe. Then we signed a kicker
Chase
from
McLaughlin.
yeah. So I feel like he's gonna come in now. He might need some competition. We might sign somebody off the street, or in the lower ends, or the guys that don't get drafted, the undrafted
Jose,
guys. Those, but
Jose
I don't think.
Borgales.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
I'm
no, he's
kidding.
doing his thing. He's over there in another league or something doing kicking.
SFL.
Yeah, he's over there kicking in the XFL. So I don't think he's coming back. But
No.
and after that stunt he pulled with the leg, like I don't think Tampa wants to see him back in no time soon. He had a big leg, but the accuracy was just not there in the crucial moments when you needed it.
You gotta make the field goals, man.
You got
I agree. I agree with you, Honcho. I think we'll end up picking up an undrafted kicker. The only one I really liked was really Nick Moody, who went last night.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very accurate kicker, I think, and I think he'll be a great fit for the Niners. I think the Niners when I took him, and
Yeah,
then the
they
draft,
are. Niners took Moody.
and then the Patriots took the kicker from Maryland. I'm not familiar with him, but I know Josh Capo liked him a lot the most.
everybody's getting
Um,
younger.
oh yeah, I'm telling you, that run to quarterbacks, kickers, this last
The
few
new
picks.
league is a
It's,
new league.
oh, I mean, yeah, this league is a different animal, man. You got to have a kicker, that's going to make the field goals because that's what's going to help us win football games, especially those close ones that we need them to. I think, when we released Ryan Suckup, part of me was pretty down, because he wasn't that bad. He was still pretty accurate, when it came to like under 40 yards. But now that we don't have Brady here no more, we're going to be struggling here and there. I mean, we're going to have our bumps and bruises, moving the ball in the red zone. But we can get, close to field goals. I'll take them. I feel like this is come a time to where you got to be able to run the football. I know it's a pass lead, but you got to run the damn ball.
As fellow Buccaneers memorabilia collector, Jenna D is joining us on Facebook Live. That's lovely. Don is joining us on Facebook Live as well. We got a lot of good viewership going on right now. Day 3 of the NFL Draft 2023 NFL Draft. And there are kickers out there. Chase McLaughlin's interesting. We didn't really give him much money. We actually brought him in on the min, which is a really good sign to me. I thought he would have gotten a little more from that elsewhere. I don't know if it was an error or not, but at one point in time, his projected market value was right under what Matt Gay ended up getting from the Colts. So the fact that the Bucs got him for so cheap was a positive. But the only way I see the Bucs keeping or potentially selecting any sorts of kickers if we keep all of our picks, if we do make both of our 5th round picks, both of our 6th round picks, and a 7th round picks, because that's 5 more guys. We might then take one, but I think we wait I think we see a good UDFA. And don't forget, we did sign former Colt as well, not Jason McLaughlin, but their other one, Jake Variety, as well to compete. So we do have two kickers on our roster, and we'll probably add a UDFA into the mix to make it a 3Z competition. But never count out Jason Light from drafting a kicker. That's one thing we have learned with him. He does seem to like his kickers. As the Panthers, another NFC South opponent, are about to make their selection. Let's see who they go here with. And then you got the Saints on the clock. Then Bucs are up in a couple picks after that. So as we get the Panthers selection, Jamie Robinson. Oh, man, there it is. Jeremy's not going to be happy about that. The Florida State kid that Jeremy was hoping comes to the Bucs ends up going to the rivalry, Carolina.
I swear the football gods are not being fair with me, man. I wanted Sidney Brown. Philly stole him. And then now the Panthers. Oh, man. Now we gotta play the bastard twice a year. Pardon my French, sorry. My bad.
No, you're good. There's no language barriers here.
Okay, what the hell we want over here?
Now we're talking. Okay. No, this kid's gonna be good, man. Damn, that's a good steal, man.
That and the Falcons, we gotta be prepared because the Falcons stacked up pretty good with Kyle Pitts. You got some good. You got Drake London over there. Come on, man. We gonna have to. It's gonna be a slobber knocker, man. Damn,
yeah. They're stocking up on corners, dude. They got Jeff Okudah from the Lions. If he's healthy, that can be a contribution. And then they got Clark Phillips, another guy I liked in the nickel. And then they're building in the trenches on the D line. I mean, props to the Falcons, man. But the Saints, man, they're having a booty draft, dude. Booty draft.
And I will say as well as Louis Montavo is joining us on Facebook here as well this evening. Donna comments, love this. Thank you so much. Guys, we've been live for 53 minutes now. When we get to the top of the hour, we're going to take a quick commercial break, a minute and a half break. You guys could recharge your batteries a little bit, use a restroom if you need, go get some more beverages until the Bucs pick. But in about 7 minutes or so, we're going to take a minute and a half commercial break. Then we'll be right back here on the Buccateers on day 3 of the NFL draft. So we're with you for 7 more minutes, quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back after that. The Saints pick is in. We'll see who they're selecting. But as it kind of shakes out, guys, we see the cornerbacks withering away. We see the quarterbacks withering away as this round 5's approaching. Jason Licht's going to have his plethora of options. We'll see who he ends up with, but there's still a lot of talented names available. I could still see us going tight end eventually. Maybe not here, but we'll see where we go. Yeah, you think so?
Zach Kuntz, that's another quality tight end. He can block. He's a big playmaker.
We've seen a lot of tight ends. We've seen a lot of tight ends get drafted at this point. I'd be very happy with that, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, no, that kid's a stud. I like him a lot. I'm surprised he's lasted this long. Also, there's some other tight ends too. I think there's Will Murray from Miami, who's another playmaker. What's the other guy's name? Clemson. I keep getting his name, but he's another guy I like too.
The kid from Purdue still around, I think.
Oh, Payne Durham, my dude. Oh my goodness. That could be the next pick. Tones, good call. He's a good blocking tight end, and he's a red zone touchdown machine. That's what I love about him. That he'll get
how many picks until we go?
I believe 5 picks, and to give you guys a little list of the best tight ends left available, Jeremy elaborated, but this is according to ESPN tight end, the top ones left. Will Mallory from Miami. Josh Wiley from Cincinnati, Zach Kuntz from Old Dominion, as Jeremy alluded to, a couple of these guys, Davis Allen from Clemson, Payne Durham from Purdue, Joel Wilson, Central Michigan, Blake Whiteheart, Wake Forest, Noah Jindorf, North Dakota State, Travis Volkel of Nebraska, and Braden Willis from Oklahoma. That rounds out the top 10 of tight ends remaining. Again, that's according to ESPN.com. And then you look on ESPN.com's quarterback draft class, and they have the following remaining: Jaron Hall, Tanner McKee, Max Dugan, Tyson Bagnet from Shepherd, Tanner Morgan, Minnesota, then Malik Cunningham, Louisville. Guys, one tidbit I did read, which fits a Malik Cunningham profile as well. Albert Breer tweeted this earlier. Let me pull it up here quickly. But I've been on the Malik Cunningham to Tampa train. I might as well not stop. Albert Breer tweeted this. QBs today: Saints Jake Hayner, Rams Stetson Bennett, Raiders Aiden O'Connell, Cardinals Clayton Tune, Browns Dorian Thompson Robinson, all had at least 28 starts, 1,000 passing attempts, and all besides DTR are the age of 24, who turns 24 later this year. Is this the Brock Purdy effect? We talked about that earlier. That's why I was a fan of the Cunningham thing, and Cunningham fits that bill to a T. He's attempted over 1,000 passes. He is the age of 24 as well. So it all fits in there. And, and he's had at least 28 starts at the collegiate level, Jeremy. So kind of like we discussed the past couple of pods, it seems like Brock Purdy might be rubbing off on a couple of these NFL franchises, as Cam Hill's joining us live on Facebook Live now as well. But that's why I was on personally the Malik Cunningham bandwagon to begin with.
No, Malik Cunningham, I wouldn't mind at all either. But another one is Tanner McKee from Stanford.
I like him
forgot
too.
about him. That kid, he's not that bad. He's just one of those ones like Will Levis that needs to sit for a year, and he could be somewhat productive. That's another potential guy the Bucs could get here with this 5th-round pick. I hope not. I'm hoping because all these quarterbacks are flying off the board right now. I'm hoping we trade back a little bit and maybe get a little bit more capital, on my opinion. But if we take a quarterback now, it'll be interesting if it's somebody like you said, Malik Cunningham or Tanner McKee, another guy I kind of like as well. I thought he would go in the 3rd or 4th round, but wow, he's fell this far. It's just amazing how some of these players are falling. I did not see it coming. And
free
then,
fall, and I think people do a good job of disguising it.
Oh yeah, especially Jason Light, man. He don't let up, man. He don't tell. And then I love his press conference when he's all smiles. He's like, I got y'all guys again this year. I mean, I love watching his press conferences. I like how he's just all smiling, cool, laid back, doesn't show any emotions. I love it, because to me he's one of the greatest general managers we ever had, and the fact that he's not top 10 general manager in the league is mind-boggling. Like, really? I mean, this dude doesn't get enough credit, and I feel like the picks he make are pretty home runs. I mean, look at Jake Carmarda, the punter from Georgia. Took him the 4th round last year, which I thought was a reach, but wow.
And real quick, one of the notable tight ends we were just referring to, Jeremy, got taken. Josh Wiley from Cincinnati. We just talked about him. Now he's a Tennessee Titan. So tight ends are flying off the board. Maybe this is a tight end spot.
Yeah, and Josh Wiley was another guy I think Peter Port really liked for the Bucs.
Huncha, what say you on the tight end room? Are you interested in any tight ends or quarterbacks upcoming, or would you take the Jeremy approach, trade down and maybe consolidate some picks? I think we could get a McKee or a Cunningham in round 6 at this point in time, and even Max Dugan left. I wouldn't mind if we were picking him as well, as he made it to the championship last year. So really between McKee, Dugan, and Cunningham, I wouldn't mind those 3. I don't necessarily think we need to pull the trigger with this pick coming up, but I could see it being a tight end potentially.
Man, I'm in the air right now. I'm not sure none of these guys that's still rolling around right now. I haven't been really researching, but we do need a tight end, another tight end with Cameron Brate's departure. So I wouldn't be against us taking a tight end,
Real quick before we sneak our commercial break in, fellas, if we ever go running back and it's a pick that we might make, and if it's not a Deuce Vaughn, Isaiah Bowser, someone along those lines, I think Bowser could be had in undrafted free agency, so I'd probably wouldn't waste a pick on him. But Chase Brown from Illinois, he was a Heisman candidate last year until he got hurt. Chase Brown was one of the best running backs in college football. Quickly to you, Jeremy, for 20 seconds. Take us to the commercial break.
No, I was gonna say, Chase Brown, he would be another guy I wouldn't mind taking this next pick on if they wanted to pull the trigger. But I think there's just more positions at tight end we really need, and we can wait until the next round to get a running back. And let's not forget the guy from Syracuse, he's still out there, Tucker. He's another guy, speedster, another guy. I mean, there's still some productive running backs we can get in the next round. So to me, this has got to be tight end, safety, or corner. It's one of those three because they're flying off the board. I mean, Noah Sewell from Oregon, linebacker. I didn't know he was still available.
Really good pick by the Bears there.
Solid pick, man. Solid. So
I agree with you. Make it a position of need. Make it a tight end, running back or corner, safety. Make it. You could wait for quarterback. Make it one of the other ones. Jeremy, hold those great thoughts and so much more. We'll be back in a quick 90 seconds on the Buccateers. We need to give these guys bathroom breaks and put them on the payroll, damn it. We'll be back. Jeremy, Huncho, and myself taking you through the Bucs. Next draft pick, which is only 4 quick draft picks away. We'll be back in a flash. Fire the damn cannons. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back from our quick commercial break, live here on day 3 of the NFL Draft. Saturday, April 29th, 2023, day 3 of the NFL Draft. They are doing it live out of Kansas City. We're here on the Buccateers, coming to you live from the Tampa area and Chicagoland area as well. The Buffalo Bills just picked Sean Clifford from Penn State, I believe, might have been their pick. Or Packers took him. The Packers taking Clifford out of Penn State. And this is the Brock Purdy effect, guys. This is the Brock Purdy effect to a T. We're seeing quarterbacks, experienced quarterbacks at that, flying off the board. A lot of people said Sean Clifford would never be an NFL quarterback. Next thing you know, here he is after 6 years at Penn State, finds himself in the NFL. Huncho, we'll start with you here first. Thoughts on the Sean Clifford pick? I love it for the Packers, and this is the Brock Purdy effect. This is the Brock Purdy effect to a team.
Yes, it is the Brock Purdy effect. Give the guys deeper in the that's lower on your board maybe a chance to see what they can do, because as you can see last year with Brock Purdy, he came out of nowhere and he surprised everybody. And for him to go to this guy, he's older. How old is he? Like 24 or something like that?
He might even be older, Sean Clifford.
Sheesh. Yeah, this guy, he's experienced, and Packers love an older guy, so maybe he can grasp their offense and give Jordan Love probably a run for his money. Who knows? Just to put him in there and see.
And I love that pick for them. Experienced guy, Sean Clifford, watching him all these years at Penn State, he could win football games. Like, if Jordan Love is struggling and he goes down, instead of putting in a backup quarterback who you take in this year's draft who isn't really proven, isn't really a hopeful, now you could turn to the experienced Sean Clifford, and some might say, oh, he never went above and beyond in college. Well, neither did Brock Purdy at Iowa State. And at Penn State, Clifford had a career 86 passing touchdowns, only 31 interceptions, threw for over 10,660 yards. He was pretty nimble on his feet as well, had pretty good rushing statistics over there as well. So pretty good showing for Clifford as collectively on the ground. He had over 1,000 yards in his 4 starting seasons there for 15 touchdowns. Jeremy, another one of these guys who fits a mold, 24-year-old quarterback, over 1,000 passing attempts, over a certain amount of starts in their career. It's getting kind of scary how, similar these quarterbacks are becoming. And the Bills have just selected a wide receiver out of Florida. Justin Shorter with the 150th pick overall.
Me, the Gator fan, that dude's a stud. He just had bad luck, with the system he's been in. He was at Penn State, and then he transferred to Florida to play under Dan Mullen. Didn't work out, and then next thing you know, he ended up getting injured, like in the Gasparilla Bowl game a couple years ago, and it was a pretty serious neck injury. But luckily, he overcame it. So he was somebody I know the Bucs were looking at, from what Peter Report was putting out there. But good for him, go to the Bills, get a chance, to learn and play. And as far as quarterback goes, wow, Clifford, that's very big. I mean, good for him. I mean, I thought for sure he would go undrafted. But like you said, the Brock Purdy effect's real. It's not. It's
How long did he play?
He started for 4 years and played for 5 years at Penn State. So a 4-year starter and 5 years total over there.
Damn.
And he beat out Will Levis in Penn State before he transferred to Kentucky. So, I mean, if he beat out a guy who was a second-round pick, I mean, that's pretty noticeable in my opinion.
And John Ledyard, formerly of Pewter Report, says he's pretty surprised. But Jeremy Hunch, I've seen before the draft, I noticed that Sean Clifford got a pre-draft interview with the Denver Broncos, and now he gets drafted by the Green Bay Packers. So you got some pretty high-powered minds like a Sean Payton, like a Matt LaFleur, putting their foot forward for a guy like Sean Clifford. I know you get your football brains like John Ledyard questioning why he gets drafted, but I don't think after the Brock Purdy thing, and if a guy like Sean Payton and Matt LaFleur are drafting a guy like this, I don't think you could really question it. And ladies and gentlemen, not only that, our Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now on the clock.
There we go.
There we go, boys. I've been waiting all day for this.
We've been waiting all day for this. We're amped here. We're live over an hour and 9 minutes now here on the Buccateers. We got J-Lo. We got Huncho in the house. And Sean Clifford is the 11th quarterback that's been drafted this year, tying the mark set in 1995 for the most QBs selected in the first 5 rounds in the common draft era. So this is pretty incredible, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing a lot of quarterbacks flying off the board. You could think that Brock Purdy has something to do with that, because a lot of people might say, oh, why wouldn't you just wait till undrafted free agency? Well, when Brock Purdy was Mr. Relevant, I think that took a lot of hopes away for a lot of these quarterbacks getting into the undrafted free agency pool. I think a lot of them are getting drafted now early, because why not? If you're an NFL franchise, are you going to draft the skill position guy that you might not need, who might get released come day one? Or are you going to draft a guy, a quarterback, who could be experienced, who could fill in at the snap of a finger, and might not be a bad shot in the dark out there? I think a lot of these teams are tired of seeing the likes of Mike Lennon start games and a lot of other wash-up has-been backups. Why not propel a more experienced college guy out there after the 49ers had so much success with Brock Purdy. Jeremy, pick is in. Let's go around the horn and make a guess. Who do you think the Bucs get, Jeremy?
I think it's got to be Zach Kuntz. Tight end.
Huncho, who do you think the Bucs go, or what position?
Running back.
I'm gonna go with D back here. Let's see. So we got 153rd overall. We got tight end. Jeremy says running back. Huncho says I say D back here. Potentially a nickel. The Bucs could use it. We have lost a plethora of D backs this offseason. Sean Murphy Bunting is now a Tennessee Titan. Mike Edwards is now a Kansas City Chief.
Oh,
Logan Ryan is still a free agent. And then you have, Keanu Neal. I forget where he ended up signing, but he did land on his feet somewhere. So we have the Buccaneers. They're about to make their pick here shortly on day 3, round 5 of the 2023 NFL draft. So far, we have added in round 1 defensive lineman Kalijah Cansey out of Pittsburgh. In round 2, we got offensive lineman Cody Mock from North Dakota State. And then in round 3, we got Louisville edge rusher Yaya Diaby, who had a really good season last year, 9 overall sacks last year for Louisville. So the Bucs selection is about to be announced, ladies and gentlemen, with the 153rd pick of the NFL draft. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are about to add a newcomer to this team. They're about to announce it. There's a group on the board. Linebacker Servokia Dennis out of Pittsburgh. And guys, we talked about player stacking. Now we got 2 Pittsburgh guys, Kalijah Cansey and Servokia Dennis, both out of Pitt. He was
That's
first
crazy.
all ACC, and he had 14 and a half tackles for loss in 2020 as well. So a very big presence in the College of Pitt. And guys, now we see the Buccaneers maybe doing this whole, hey, Eagles, you want to go Georgia? We'll go Pitt.
Yeah, that's crazy because in the press conference when they were talking to the first round pick, they asked him will he be doing some recruiting for any of his Pittsburgh teammates, and he said, yeah, he'll love to play with some of his guys. And look what happened.
And Jason Light told him he was going to look at the big board as well. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this pick?
He did say that. He said he was going to let him see it later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, like straight up, it's a good pick. I think someone from Pewterport brought him up when I was watching the draft show yesterday about him, and then I think Cansey was promoting him on Twitter, saying he's the best linebacker. Stats don't lie. So he was somebody that doesn't surprise me. We took. So I mean, good pick. I mean, I think he'll provide good depth. I'm not sure if he's starting material. I gotta go back and watch his tape, truthfully. But clearly, it's linebacker depth in case Devin goes down or if Levante goes down, then, Kenny Brett be the next guy in, and they're not really sold on Kenny Brett. So, but I like the pick. I like it. It's more depth on linebacker. We have 2 pits in the next. No, we got 1 more pit this round, and then we head to the 6th with 2 more pits. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, no, I like it. Like I said, tight end can wait, obviously. And running back, I mean, Chase Brown, he's somebody I kind of like if we go at running back. And because he's fallen, he might fall into our next pick, So, Honcho, I kind of like when you were saying running back because Chase Brown, Tucker from Syracuse is still out there. Those are bats that no one's talking about. So, hey, welcome to the team, man. Welcome to the best team in the NFL. That's all I gotta say about that. I don't care what those Chief fans say or the Philly fans, whatever. We're undefeated in the Super Bowl, baby.
Huncho, any more thoughts?
No, I'm just ready to get excited to get these guys started and see what they can do.
Where do you think we go next now? Jeremy, we'll start with you.
Well, it's gotta be safety corner or tight end, maybe even quarterback. I mean, Tanner McGee from Stanford's still out there. He's another guy I wouldn't mind taking with the next pick. But if it was me, I mean, Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M, he's still available. physical safety, can play in the box and all that. He's another guy I think we can probably go after. So it's got to be safety, corner, or tight end with the next pick.
And Huncho, what say you?
I'm sorry. Same thing. I agree with him 100%.
And it's going to be interesting. We have to wait about 18 to 20 picks now, unless we do move up. I wouldn't be too surprised if we move up. And like we said here about 40 minutes ago on the Buccateers, hey, maybe the new thing is stacking some guys from the same college. We heard Cansey and Jason Light talk about it a couple days ago or just yesterday when we introduced Cansey. Hey, maybe we're going to look at the board. We're going to get some more Pitt defenders potentially. And what do? We ended up with a linebacker out of Pitt, which to me is a home run pick. We talked about it a little bit, and we're going to continue to cover it here for the next 10 to 15 minutes or so as we guys take you home on our day 3 draft coverage here on the Buccateers. But if you guys missed it, we got a new Buck, and that's a beautiful thing. Linebacker depth, beautiful thing. And I think stacking some guys from Pittsburgh is a beautiful thing as well. So I'm really looking forward to what Servoke Dennis and Kalijah Cansey bring to the table for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Gary says, what's his size? I'll pull up his profile for a little bit.
I think he was 6 foot. I saw when they brought him up after they drafted him. He's at 6 foot, 6'1". And you can't go wrong because let me tell you something. Pittsburgh was pretty good on defense the last couple of years, man. I watched them play Tennessee last year, and wow, I mean they were getting after Hendon Hooker. Tennessee almost lost that game, but luckily, Hendon Hooker brought him back and won the game. That's one good example I can put for like Pittsburgh's defense. You can't go wrong. And plus, there's a safety I think that Scott Reynolds brought up, that the physical safety who likes to make the tackles and all that. So that's somebody when it comes to Pittsburgh's defense, So I'm excited. I think that was a good pick. And we got a new member of the Bucs, man. We just got better. We just got faster, I feel like, and we're getting younger.
Yeah, and to go into a little bit of a profile on Servoke Dennis, he was born on March 9th in 2000, so he's 23 years of age. He's 6'1", 230-pound linebacker, went to high school in New York at Christian Brothers and transferred to Pedal School in New Jersey. He was at Pittsburgh the duration of his collegiate career, and I think that is a character thing now to talk about as well with all the NILs and how easy it is to transfer. You could get money from elsewhere. He stayed at Pittsburgh the duration of his career, and he impressed at his pro day, and he was a projected late round pick because he impressed at his pro day. So he finished his collegiate career with 233 total tackles, 36 tackles for loss, 15 overall sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. I really love how we talked about this, guys, and I love how we talked this into existence. He's a guy who overcame senior year of high school. He tore his ACL. He had a minor setback. He only had a 2-star recruit into college, and after initially committing to Air Force, he switched to Pittsburgh, the only Power 5 team that was to make an offer. So pretty incredible story on him overall.
I agree 100%. I mean, those are the kind of players I like. The ones, that overcome injuries like that. 20 ACL is not easy to overcome, man. You never play the same again. I mean, look at Cornell Williams, Cadillac, tore his ACL on both knees, and he was never the same.
Yeah, what say you, Huncho, about that? Well, maybe we lost Huncho, but the Ravens are continuing here. We got the Colts next on the Packers. Colts followed again. We're going to make you guys, we're going to have you guys about 10 to 20 minutes more so of coverage. So we hope the Bucs trade up again and we can cover that. Gary says he wants linebacker. He's too small, 6'1", 230, or he won't play linebacker, strong safety. I don't know about that, Gary. I think we could mold him into a linebacker. They announce what they draft you as. So, Jeremy, what's your thought on that?
Players from our Bucs talk put Special teams, great upside. So it's looking like he'll probably be playing special teams at first and work his way up to possibly being a starter either next to Devin or Levante, because Levante, we don't know who's going to come back next year or not. This could be his last year, either here or playing at all anymore. And Devin White's situation, we don't know what's going on with that. I mean, to me, Devin White, he needs to grow up and be more mature and be a leader. And I agree with Warren Sapp. They need to strip the captain logo off him if he does come back and make him earn his way back up. Give him more motivation to play. But I think that linebacker, he's in a perfect situation where he can come in, learn behind two really good linebackers. I should say about one future Hall of Fame linebacker and one good linebacker. Because I'm not going to take nothing off Devin White. I mean, he's very talented, and I think he can definitely pick his brain and learn from him. So it's a good move. I feel comfortable with what Light just did, and he's a buck, man. Like I said, we just got younger and we got faster by drafting
Hunch,
him.
Huncho, are you back, brother? And if so, what are your thoughts on him maybe moving to his safety?
I'm all for moving with a safety. If we have to move up right here, throwing the 6th round pick, get a safety, the top one available, because we are in a depth hole right there at safety with especially playing the nickel inside. So
Yeah,
I hope we could take a safety here.
and I think we might take a safety. We're still not making our way onto the board, but Gary thinks he might transition to safety, but we'll see, man. I think that Servoke Dennis might stay at linebacker, but nonetheless, we got ourselves another prime defender, and we see a cornerback off the board now. Caillou Blue Kelly
Oh,
from Stanford. Jeremy, that was one of
oh,
your guys potentially.
yes, he was very talented. Son of Brian Kelly, Buck legend. And hey, he's going to the Ravens. Good for him. He's got a good chance to go start over there because Peters is still a free agent. They haven't brought him back. So this could be a good move for Kyra Blue Kelly. To me, he's a good outside corner, physical, and can make the plays. Just gotta, be a ball hawk. That's his only problem, I think, for what I've heard about him. But good pickup by the Ravens. And
Mm-hmm.
as far as safety goes, I agree with you, Honcho. I think it's time to get the safety or nickel corner to go in there and help our guys out. But back to Blue, Kelly, I think he would have been a good backup, a way better outside corner to back up Dean or Carlton Davis because they seem to get hurt a lot. And I came in last time they had a full healthy season without getting injured. I think 2020 was the last time they played a full season without being injured. Because
Hmm.
21, Carlton got hurt for a little while, and then Dean got hurt for a little while, so we had to bring Richard Sherman. And then last year, I think we won like one game without Carlton, and then like 2 games without Dean or something like that. So I think it's time to get the corner or the safety to get it going because I don't feel comfortable going to the season with just Carlton and Dean being the main guys with Zion McCollum backing him up. 'Cause I still feel like he's got a lot to learn.
Yeah, and the Colts just take a safety as well, so we get a lot of D-backs going off the board right now. Kind of a weird spot in the 5th round here where you're not really sure if the Bucs are going to pounce and trade up or if the Bucs are going to stay back. But the Colts select safety Daniel Scott out of Kel. So Jeremy, not sure if you're familiar with him, but yet another safety off the board.
Yeah, I think there's a time where DBs and safeties are getting taken now. You know, um, I don't know too much about the safety who just got drafted. To me, it seemed like a special teamer type move. The team that took him, but it'll be interesting to see what comes up next on our board. I think Light really he's really I think he's really into not trading up. I think he wants to keep his draft picks.
And
Stack as
another
much as
good
he
thing,
can.
real quick, Jeremy, keep your thought in mind. Since you mentioned special teams, and I got it on the tip of my tongue, Real Bucks Talk is reporting that Servoke Dennis is a heck of a special teams player as well. So not only linebacker or defensive depth, but perhaps a crucial part to special teams, and it might push KJ Britt off the roster, or at least to amplify his game a little bit.
And I wouldn't go to sleep on Kenny Brett. I feel like, he's a good linebacker, and you can't go wrong with Auburn defenders. I love the Auburn defenders. But here's another thing. I'm surprised the Bucs didn't go get him. Popo from Auburn. I think he's still on the board. I know J.C. Allen was big on him, Popo, and he's still out there on the board. So that's another surprise to me. You would think, Light, who likes Auburn players, obviously, and I thought he would be the next guy to go, but hey, I'll take Dennis. So man, looks
And
like the
we're
Packers just got a receiver. They just got Dontavian Wicks from Virginia.
Packers are building their offense. They're trying to draft a lot of tight ends. They drafted a couple
Two of them.
receivers now, a quarterback now. So between receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, Packers are trying to build a little bit. They're trying to make do. And now we do see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make their way onto the board. So they're up in about 12 picks. I think they have 172 overall. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to be live for just about 10 more minutes or so. It is a Saturday. We got a couple of things to do here on the Buccateers. So we're going to be here. We'll see. We'll see how long we last. But guys, Bucs second pick of the 5th round is approaching shortly. Jaguars with another pick. They're talking about all kinds of things on the draft day right now. This is really to the point in round 5 here where you can pick your guys available, Huncho. Jason Light could dig deep and try and select some of his more favorite guys instead of, guys that he think will be sure hits. You could be a little more wild here in these later rounds. Jeremy, any thought on that?
I'll tell you what, man. Chase Brown. I'm really feeling him right now. The next pick.
I like Chase
I
Brown a
like that
lot
kid
too. And
a
the
lot, and I feel like he'll have time. And obviously, I love his brother, man. Cindy Brown gone. I really want a Cindy Brown, but I'll take his brother, man, Chase Brown. Like I said, I feel this could be the next pick, man. And there goes Antonio Johnson from A&M to the Jaguars. Good
safeties
pick.
are flying.
Mm-hmm.
So now we
Antonio
got
Johnson.
here. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was saying Antonio Johnson was somebody I thought maybe because he's a physical box safety, and a lot of people had him going like early second round to mid second round, and he fell all the way to 5th round. I know Josh Kipper from Pewter Report said that he didn't really rank them high as much. So, but for the most part, I think Chase Brown will be the next pick because these safeties are flying. And now I can't think of any other available safety that we can really go after.
And the new Bucs line, this is according to Greg Allman as well. Remember, Servoke Dennis was about to attend Air Force and transferred. So he's a military guy. It says new Bucs linebacker Servoke Dennis is the son of 2 Army veteran and parents, Cervantes and Corliss. His father earned the Purple Heart after he was shot and injured while serving in Iraq. That's pretty deep stuff there, guys. So Servoke is deep entrenched with the military, and that's something we've seen from the likes of Vincent Jackson and more in the past. The Buccaneers do a great job with military relations here in Tampa. I think that's great, man. Military law enforcement, just the fact Servoke Dennis has that deep of ties just shows how he's probably busted his ass since day one.
R.I.P. Vincent Jackson, man.
R.I.P. to Vincent Jackson, and we know how much he was involved, and maybe Servoke Dennis is the next in line. We know Ryan Jensen's a heavy military involved guy as well. So we get our good share of military. Gary says lacks desired pursuit, speed, will struggle covering running backs and man, unable to sit down and leverage his gap, enough power, battered by Tennessee offensive line last season. Well, we got to remember a couple things, Gary. This is becoming the NFL. This isn't college football anymore. So he's going to have, a guy by the name of Vita Vea in front of him. He's going to have a guy by the name of Levante David or Devin White next to him. He's going to have some edge rushers by the name of Shaq Barrett and JTS and Anthony Nelson alongside him. He's going to have a lot more appropriate players playing around him. And oh, by the way, he's going to have first-round pick teammate Kalijah Cansey joining his side as well. So, guys, we're going to stay with you. I'm now officially declaring it. We're going to stay with you till the next Bucs pick. Jeremy or Huncho, if you guys have to hop off, feel free. We will be with you guys until the next Bucs pick, though, here on the Buccateers. We're going to take another quick commercial break here on the Buccateers. We'll be back with you guys in about 90 seconds. Refuel. If you're watching, if you're joining us, refuel. Do what you guys have to do. But the Buccateers will be back after a quick commercial break, breaking down more of the 2023 NFL Draft. We're going to be sticking with you guys until the next Bucs pick. Then we're going to wave the white flag and declare it. But stay with us for about 90 seconds through the commercial break. Jeremy, Huncho, and Tones. Well, I don't know if Huncho's still with us, but hey, nonetheless, the Buccateers here live covering day 3 of the NFL Draft with special guest Jeremy with you. So let's go. A lot of names still left on the board. Who will we go with next? We're within 8 picks now on the Buccateers live day 3 coverage show. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Welcome back here on the Buccateers. Tampa Tones alongside Jeremy and Hunch. Day 3 of the NFL Draft. Saturday, 2023 NFL Draft. The Bucs have made 4 picks so far. all picks that we give the thumbs up to. All three of us give the thumbs up to all of them. Jeremy and company, we got some big names flying off the board. Some guys that we have stated would be potential nice or ideal fits for this Buccaneers team. The Colts drafted Miami tight end Will Mallory. So, Jeremy, a guy you like there, no longer on the board. And now the Vikings select quarterback Jaron Hall. He's no longer on the board as well. Another quarterback gone. And the Bengals end up drafting running back Chase Brown as well. He's gone. So we got the Bengals drafting Chase Brown. We got a tight end Will Mallory gone. We got another big quarterback gone. Huncho, what are your thoughts here? I think we might have lost Hunch, guys, but we'll see if he's back. Jeremy, what are your thoughts? Chase Brown no longer on the board. Will Mallory no longer on the board. Some of the guys you liked, and now another QB gone as well, with the Vikings taking Jaron Hall. A lot of notable names still left, but a lot flying off the board here, slowly but surely.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the Bengals got a good one, you know, because we don't know what the situation is with Joe Mixon, you know, so that's a good spot for him. Will Mallory from Miami, I like 10-2, good spot. They're flying, so this next pick's got to count, man. They're going to have to make it count as far as like corner, safety, or tight end, you know. But Tucker's still out there from Syracuse. He's another guy I like too, so maybe he could be the next pick. But, you know, it's just tough choices Jason Lant's going to have to make.
And not that it matters too much, but I had no idea how far back our second fifth-round pick was, but then it makes sense as it was a comp pick at the end of the day. The Bears just drafted cornerback Terrell Smith, so another cornerback off the board, Jeremy.
I think Clark from Louisville is still there. He's a guy I really like for nickel. He's still out there, so he could be a potential Buck. I know they like him as well.
Yeah, he's still out there. I know he's out there, so that would be a good pick. We are up in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're up in 9 picks now, so we'll be with you guys here through that. A lot of notable names flying off the board. I would like the Bucs to go tight end or quarterback or running back here. Now that we built our defense up the past couple of rounds or so, I'd like to see us, whether it's a quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, I'd like us to just try and build offensively with the next pick.
And don't be surprised if we get another Pittsburgh defensive player at safety. I think it's Brendan Hill. He's another guy. I think somebody from Peter Report, I can't remember who exactly brought him up, but he's another guy who could be a quality safety and possibly play nickel.
I think that would be a tremendous little ad as well. The Chiefs pick is in here. If you're in Kansas City, I was supposed to be at the draft today. Jeremy, have you ever thought about going to a draft, or if they did ever bring one, say, within driving distance or driving range for you, would you ever consider going? I know it's a lot. I know you need a lot of time, a lot of money, you know, it's hard, but would you ever consider going to the draft?
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely, man. It's always been, you know, one of my bucket lists to go attend the draft. You know, I like to go to road games when the Bucs are on the road. You know, I like to do that once in a while, but financially it's hard. You know, because we all go through our stuff. You know, but yeah, definitely, it's on my bucket list. I think the next one's I think it's in Detroit. I think next year.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try and go to that one because that's a hop, skip, and a jump for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I said you're in that cold weather, brother. God bless you on that one.
Thanks for that. Yeah. No, but for real, you ain't lying. Like this time of year, if we had a draft in Chicago today, for instance, it's like 40, 45 degrees.
That's not too bad.
No, but you've seen it affect Pete Fairbanks, a really good closer last night in the Rays game quick. You know, you see stuff like that happen around here. He can't really grip too well in cold weather. That's the type of stuff that plays a factor here this time of year.
Yeah. But plus it's Pete Fairbanks, man. It's hard to like that guy. Me being a Rays fan, it's everything's going good right now. Being a Tampa Bay fan, Rays, Lightning play tonight. Hopefully, they'll take care of business and make it a game 7. But we'll see. To me, Vassy just hasn't been Vassy this year at goalie.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know, man. It's the playoffs, man. Anything can happen. Doesn't matter. But back to football here. No, weather can really have some effect. But man, I'm looking at it now. Chase Brown go to the Bengals. Man, what a grab.
And him and Joe Mixon together could be pretty fun over there.
And that's another thing because they lost Shemaine Perine in free agency. He ended up going to another team. I can't remember where he went, but he signed with somebody.
And he got pretty decent money somewhere as well. I'll look into that where he did end up. But I think you're right, Jeremy. He did end up going somewhere. And not only did he go somewhere, but he got pretty good money, if I remember correctly.
And now that I think about it, I think he went to Denver. I think Sean Payne ended up picking him up. I think Denver was the team that got him. So
That
that to
sounds
me,
right. And I think he'll fit well over there.
no, I agreed because they got what's his name coming back from injury, Javante Williams, and then Chase Edmonds came here, so he could be in line to be starting. Really, I can't think of anybody else who they picked up or drafted at running back.
Yeah, well, the Broncos were out of a lot of draft picks as well because, the whole Russell Wilson thing over there.
Oh
They
yeah,
only
no, good.
they gave up so
I'm,
much, Jeremy.
oh yeah, I mean, who would have thought Russell Wilson would have turned out the way he did last year? I thought for sure he would give him a better chance, but it's all about coaching, man. I don't think the coach was that good.
So
I
they
think
got
the only thing.
Javante Williams and Samjay P. Ryan. That'll be a pretty good backfield for them if Williams could stay healthy.
Oh yeah, I liked Williams a lot a couple of years ago. Between him and then the other running back who went to the Jets, I keep forgetting his name. Yeah, if he stays
Oh,
healthy, he could be
Brees Hall.
not Brees Hall. Brees Hall went to Iowa State. Um, damn, what the hell's his name?
The
I
one
can't
oh
remember.
Michael Carter.
Yeah, Michael Carter. There you go. Yeah, he was to me another good quality bat. To me, he was kind of like Rashawn Johnson from Texas, just sat behind Williams, who was a star on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just glad that Sean Payne's out of our division, man. Thank God. When they talked about him going to Dallas a couple years ago, I was like, oh man. But he went to Denver. I think it's a good situation for them. But he's in a tough hole, man. Kansas City, Chargers. I mean, that's still a tough division in the AFC alone, man. Now that Rodgers is on the Jets, I mean, like I said, I mean it's more of an edge for us, in the NFC. Because the real dogs in the NFC to me is the Niners and the Eagles. That's the only two teams I can think of. Yeah, you could throw Dallas in there, but Dallas is always due to flop in the playoffs. They beat the crap out of us, but at the same time, I just don't see them as an elite team. But to me, it's the Niners, depending on the QB situation, because we don't know if Trey Lance is going to be ready or not, and Brock Purdy, come do with elbow injury. We don't know how he's going to be able to throw the ball. But they did get Sam Darnold, and I think that's a very good pickup because Darnold was pretty productive. Go ahead.
As Pops just chimes in, and I want to get your thought. He says he
Sure.
thinks we go tight end next.
I mean, they still Duran from Purdue, who I really like a lot. Also, Zach Kuntz is still there, so I wouldn't mind taking a tight end at this point. This would be a really good pickup if that happens. And then with the next pick, we can go safety or corner. I mean,
And
I agree with
Texans
Pops.
just
I
picked
think
a
he
pretty
should be
good
the tight end.
Texans just picked a pretty good player, Henry 2020 from Alabama, the linebacker.
Yeah, he has definitely good experience. When you play Alabama under Nick Saban, you turn out pretty well making the NFL and playing whether you start or not. I he doesn't really excite me too much, But good for him to be over there, get drafted by Houston. Houston's got a good thing going, man. I think they definitely had a home run draft too. Getting C.J. Stroud and then trading back up to get Will Anderson. I mean, two great picks, man. Props to them.
I
So
agree. And Hunch is having some technical difficulties. We'll try one more time. Hunch, could you hear us, brother? I know you're trying. What are your thoughts so far on how this is shaking up towards our second, fifth pick? It looks like Hunch might be down and out, but couple tidbits here, Jeremy. I wanted to read to the people and
sure.
you, my friend. Rick Stroud tweets, Tampa Bay Times says, Cervoque Dennis, his father attended Boca Ciega High School, and he's a huge Bucs fan. On Saturday, he was wearing a customized number 3 Bucs jersey at their home in Syracuse, New York. That's pretty incredible. So Dennis's dad is a huge Bucs fan himself. And then speaking of dads, Greg Allman says Caillou Blue Kelly, son of former Bucs corner Brian Blue Kelly or Brian Kelly, went in the 5th round. So Brian Kelly's son was Kaya Blue Kelly, and then Cervoque Dennis's father grew up a Buccaneers fan. Pretty cool stuff there.
No, definitely a fun take. I like that. Those are the players you always want to get that really want to be here. And the fact that his dad's a Bucs fan, that's a huge plus.
I mean, he's wearing a number 3 Bucs jersey. That's kind of like when the Bucs drafted Joe Tryon, and remember him or his dad already had a Bucs hat on, or a Bucs hat on standby, or something like that. Or was that O'Keefe? I forget who exactly, but someone within the past couple of years. I know Joe Tryon, they didn't send him a Bucs hat in time, so he had to,
Go to the
go.
mall.
Correct. He had to go to the mall and get one. And then O'Keefe, I think it was, or someone last year, their dad just so happened to be wearing a Bucs hat or something. So he plopped it on his head right away or something along those lines. But either way, pretty cool stuff there.
No, it's very good stuff. Props to Greg Allman and Brett Stroud, for putting good stuff out there, especially Greg Allman. And he's a hell of a reporter, man. Good for him. Like I said, but that's good to know. That makes me feel more comfortable because Light likes to get guys that truly want to be here. He likes drafting dogs.
He absolutely does, and we could tell based on this draft alone that he likes drafting talent. He likes drafting dogs. He likes drafting athleticism. So Bucs are up now in 4 or 5 picks. Jeremy and I are bringing you through that pick through the end of round 5. Then we're bouncing out of here, and we're going to let you guys enjoy your Saturday. We'll enjoy our Saturdays. It's been a crazy, fun day on the Buccateers. And it's just pretty crazy. So I don't know what's going on here, but I seen someone from the Tampa Airwaves apologizing for something he said on Will Levis earlier this morning. Not quite sure what he said about that, but we'll try and see what he did say. Nick Wise putting out an apology tweet for a comment he made about Will Levis on the airwaves this morning. But nonetheless, we're here on the Buccateers. We're live recapping and going through the 2023 NFL Day 3. We're almost through the entire 5th round. We got our Bucs 5th round pick coming up, the second of our 5th round picks. And really, Jason Light has been putting on a clinic here in Day 3. The Cowboys select tackle Asim Richards from North Carolina. So a big tackle off the board now.
And plus, Owen Pope got drafted before him. I think the Bengals took him, or somebody took Owen Pope, and I kind of glanced at it. So that was the guy I was telling you about at linebacker that J.C. Allen really liked a lot. So, that. But we got a good guy though. We got Denise, and we'll take him. And then Jenna Lane also put out there on Dennis that his family's from the St. Pete area. So that's another thing to throw out there.
And it looks like WDAE Nick Wise, he called Will Levis a spoiled little bitch for leaving the NFL draft. To me, that's not too bad. I know it's offensive to some, but to me, that ain't that bad. I think it was a bad. I know a lot of. I know a lot of people left the NFL draft. I think you should always stay at the NFL draft, and I don't think it's a great comment. Obviously, offensive to some, perhaps, but it wasn't a great look necessarily for Will Levis to me leaving the NFL draft when you got a guy like Brian Branch, who was also a first round pick. He stayed at the NFL draft. His entire family stayed at the NFL draft. And then you got a guy like Will Levis, amongst others. There were about 5 more who left as well, but that's your moment. It doesn't really matter to me what day you get drafted, but just the fact that you do end up getting drafted.
And the fact that you make it, the fact that you even get drafted, or even the ones that get undrafted, that's another thing to look at too. Is that they worked so hard and they get drafted, no matter what position you're at. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He was a what 199, and look how he turned out.
Between Tom Brady, between Brock Purdy, you have undrafted free agents all the time making impacts. Austin Eckler was an undrafted free agent amongst many, many others. Former Bucs Super Bowl champions were undrafted free agents at the time. I'm trying to think. Oh, Nick Leverett, off the top of my head, was an undrafted free agent. So was wide receiver Joshua Pearson, safety Javon Hagan. They all won the Super Bowl with the Bucs. Kalen Geiger, wide receiver and friend of the Buccateers. He was also a UDFA. He was on our show as well. That was an incredible one. But as Jeremy alluded to, undrafted free agency, almost just as fun as a draft. I mean, at least a couple of those guys end up sticking around and making their way on a roster. And it looks like we have a trade. The Raiders just traded up, it seems. So we'll see what happens here with the the Las Vegas Raiders.
I got some better ones for you. Clepton Smith, punt return legend. Ernest
Yeah, keep
Graham,
naming him a
running
minute,
back.
Jeremy. I'll be right back.
No problem. But yeah, Ernest Graham, he was another back who went undrafted, and former Gator, another thing. He definitely blew up at the right time when Carnell Williams went down on injury when he tore his ACL, and got over almost 10 touchdowns that year when he took over. And then Clepton Smith, he was another promising back who was a great punt kick returner, and then he ended up getting a serious unnecessary hit by a Carolina player, and that kind of ruined his career. But those are the two undrafted I can put out there. Who else? I mean, going undrafted is not a terrible thing. I mean, didn't
I
Vincent
remember
Jackson?
that dirty hit on Clifton Smith. That was a Debbie Downer, man.
I was there when that happened. Cheap shot,
Really?
man. That kind of. Oh yeah, it was so bad. Like even the Bucs fans were getting ready to brawl with the Carolina fans, because some Carolina fans were cheering for it. Because I don't know why. Because usually they're pretty chill and pretty cool, but not that time. And there was about to be a brawl. I don't ever wish any player to get injured, ever. Even though I hate the Saints, I hate Cam Jordan with a passion, but I don't wish him to be injured. Never. It's
Yeah,
football.
that's something where you hope to, and that's another thing. I never really hope for injuries either, because you always kind of want to face the best in the competition as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes.
another key thing. So let's see here. As we wind through the draft, we're looking forward to, and it's kind of funny, Jeremy. I just seen a Sean Clifford tweet circulating the new Packers quarterback, obviously, but this is the beauty with Sean Clifford and Twitter in general. He tweeted January 5th, 2014, Packers lose, hashtag duh Bears. And now he's a member of the Green Bay Packers. So it's kind of funny when you're able to go
That is.
back and look at that sort of thing. And all of a sudden, the Bucs traded up. The
Yeah, we
Buccaneers
did.
have traded up, and the Buccaneers are next on the clock, Jeremy. Jason
Wow.
Light does it again, and the Bucs trade up.
He probably. I'm hoping he didn't give up the other 6th-round pick. Hopefully, it was a spot there where maybe they give up the 7th round, like 252. I'm interested to see what we gave up for that pick, the trade up. This has
Yeah,
got to
no
be.
Bucs reporters even have it tweeted out there yet. No Bucs reporters that I have seen have tweeted out there, but on NFL Network, it's showing the Bucs are next on the clock.
Yeah, I see it too. Oh, that's why. Look, Christopher Smith from Georgia went to the Raiders. I think the Bucs were looking at him.
Mm.
Okay, so J.C. Allen, he's putting out there that this could be possibly Catrell Clark, the corner from Louisville, that when I was telling you about who could play nickel. This could be him, but we'll see. But Christopher Smith, the second from Georgia, he was a safety. What's his name? Scott Reynolds mentioned it today that he kind of liked him. You can't go wrong with a Georgia defender, man. Wherever you get on the defense with Georgia, they're studs, man. So,
And the pick
but
is in already as well, Jeremy. So the Bucks had a
oh,
man targeted, and it looks like they're gonna select the next Buccaneer here momentarily of the future.
well, and it looks like we didn't give up our sixth round pick. It looks like so that's a good thing. Let's see who we pick.
Yeah, you can see us on the board there again. So whatever the trade was, we at least kept one of our 6 rounders and the better one at that.
Agreed. Come
I'm
on, let's.
interested to see because whoever Light picks here, Jason Light was targeting all along.
And obviously he didn't want to sit and wait for that to happen. Clearly he wouldn't have made the move. That's what I love about
Ex-
Jason Light, man. He's full of surprises.
and yeah, exactly. He doesn't pull no or he doesn't hold no punches back. He just pulls the punch. He just pulls strings. So I'm really interested to see. And it says the picks in for a while now. Round 5, pick 171. We traded up 5 picks, I believe. So Jeremy mentioned we didn't give up a 6th, and you can see our better 6th is lingering on the board. I'm interested, Jeremy. I'm guessing we either probably gave up a pick of the or a later pick of the future, or maybe
The
our
seventh round.
additional, yeah, maybe our 7th round. Oh, here it is. The Bucks gave up our 7th rounder to move up. So there it is. The Bucks
Good.
gave up their final pick today, pick number 252 to move up. And hey, did we call that earlier or what? Expect a trade up from Jason Light. And the Bucks take
We
your
did.
man, tight end Payne Durham. Didn't you mock that?
Who do you take?
Did
Oh,
you mock
Payne Durham.
did you mock that?
Yes,
We got Payne Durham.
I did. I did. Wow,
That
man.
is
Great pick.
awesome.
Like, oh man, I love it. I'm telling you, you're gonna love this kid. He's a great blocking tight end, and in the red zone, he's a touchdown machine. This kid is a definitely under the radar pick. Even though Zach Kuntz was available, but I'm happy with that one. Wow, Payne Durham. Good job, Jace. Good
And
job.
you mocked that. You had it mocked. What did you like about him going into your mock that you had him going to the Bucks, Jeremy? If you liked anything about him, what stood out, and what had you saying, "Hey, I'm going to get this guy in my mock because I do want him on the Bucks."
I mean, like I said, the guy that red zone touchdown machine, that's where he made most of his plays, being in the red zone getting touchdowns. I think he had 8 touchdowns last season, if I believe. See, if you watch the highlight, I mean, this kid just makes plays, man. To me, he's kind of like a Cameron Brate, but better blocker. He's 6'5", good sized kid. And like I said, I mean, he's going to be somebody that's going to be good for blocking, for running the football, because that's what Todd Bowles wants. He wants to run the ball, and he's a great tight end, that can block. I like him a lot. And wow, good choice.
I love a Purdue tight end, a Big Ten tight end. Big Ten tight ends are always gritty,
Oh,
in my opinion.
I agree, man. Like I said, great pick, man. Damn, for once, I know one of my picks. I
Hey,
mean, 'cause
no, you also had us taking Yaya as well, right?
yeah, I did. My bad, I did.
So
Because
you
I
had a
put,
couple.
yeah, usually I get at least one out of it. When I do my mocks. But this one was pretty off. Jones did. I thought for sure he'd be a good right tackle, but at the same time, he fell for a reason. But
And I'm
but
gonna
hey,
give
man,
you
I'm
some
happy with that pick.
I'm gonna give you some kudos and give you a tweet saying our guest Jeremy had him mocked coming to us on our mock draft show. So um, that is pretty cool that we're all hitting him here.
Oh, definitely. It's a good feeling. When one of the guys, you really like, and they get picked is awesome. That's how I felt about Vernon Hargraves, even though he didn't pan out here. But when he got drafted by us, I was ecstatic. But then, that didn't work out. I wasn't too happy about Jameis, but I gave him a chance, like any other player should be given a chance, and see how that went. Um, but I did like Rashad White last year when we took him in the third round. I think I mocked him coming to us, but I think in the fourth round, but not the third. So, I mean, hey, so I'll take it.
And he's caught in 101 passes over the last 2 seasons. That's pretty good for, not having an elite college quarterback.
Oh yeah, I mean he was on a very not so good football team. They were kind of up and down. I think they did upset Ohio State a couple of years ago. You know, Purdue hasn't really been a great team since I say, man, what's that dude's name who the Bears drafted years ago in 2006? Um,
Oh,
I can't
the,
remember his name.
the
He's been all
Bears.
over the place. But the Bears drafted him. He played at Purdue, and he did well subbing in for Rex Grossman when he went down on his injury. Then he got traded to the Broncos to where he
Oh,
got beat
Kyle
out.
Orton.
Kyle Orton. That's the last time I remember Purdue really being at least a good football team. I know Robert Marv, who I went to high school with. He went to the U, didn't work out, transferred to Purdue, and had okay seasons, but it went undrafted, didn't work out. That's the last time I really watched Purdue like that. But I do keep tabs on from time to time because Mike Allstott, A Train, that's where he's from. He went to Purdue. The A
Yeah, and I
Train.
love Elsta and love A Train, my favorite Buck of all time. He's from the area, from Joliet. Grew up like 15 minutes from me.
No shit. Damn. Hey, my favorite player all time too until Mike came in, came in the picture. But yeah.
Mike and Mike, man, can't go wrong with that. So, Jeremy, we know it's Saturday, brother. We know you got kids, you got Gracie, you got the gang to be with, play with. We got lives too. So, we're going to wrap up here shortly. It's been an incredible 2 hours. We appreciate you going from commenting to behind the camera. Huncho was here. He must have had technical difficulties, but I'll say this. My tweet earlier said 3 hours ago, this was before the draft started, 11:40 a.m. Eastern, 20 minutes until day 3 of the draft started. I said, wouldn't be shocked to see the Go Bucks move into the back end of round 4 or get an additional 5th rounder today or day 3 of the NFL draft. We still have 2 5th round picks, 2 6th rounds, lost one to move up in that mock, and 1 7th. Odds of all those draft picks making the roster are slim. So yet another thing we did call in the Buccateers trading up in round 4 or 5. So that was pretty cool there, Jeremy.
I'm telling you, man. I try to get in the mind of Jason Light, man. Trying trying to go on his level, man. I love his taste in drafting. The man, he's making moves. I can't wait to see who our last pick's going to be. I think it's our last pick. No, we still got 196, don't we?
Yeah, we have 2 6th round picks still remaining because
Okay.
coming into today we had 2 5ths, 2 6ths, and a 7th. Coming into the draft we had 2 5ths, 3 6ths, and a 7th. We used one of those 6 to move up and get Cody Mock, and now we used our 7th to move up and select Payne Durham, the tight end. So now remaining we have our 2 6.
Okay. Well, like I said, there's still some good defenders out there. That's the only thing I can think of the next pick. It's either a defender or a running back, one or the other. That's one that I am predicting as we watch ourselves, finish this draft. But thank you for having me, man. I had a good
Yeah, you're
time.
becoming a regular. It's been a true honor and having you not only today, but some of the past episodes as well, brother. And what are your last words on this Saturday, day 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft? Today is April 29th, is Saturday, 3:24 p.m. What are your last words heading out of the Buccateers, day 3 of the NFL Draft? After such a fun show, we've talked about so much. Thanks again for hopping on, brother.
No problem, anytime. I can say that we have gotten a lot better the last 2 nights and today. Now it's on to mandatory mini camps. We'll see what's going on with Devin White. Hopefully, he'll get off his little funk right now and play football. And let's see who we add after the draft. Maybe Logan Ryan may come back on a decent deal, bringing experienced safety. I think he'll love to come back. He loves the Tampa area. I can see a William Golston return. So we get some of the key pieces back. So
maybe Donovan Smith even. You never know.
And that's another one. And I wouldn't say no to him. I wouldn't shut the door on him. If he's want to come back on a one-year prove-it deal, we can afford to do it. Why not bring somebody in like that? But we'll wait and see, man. I think they're really high on Tristan going left, and I think they're gonna. Because you gotta remember, they spent premium picks on guys like Luke Gadecki, and I feel like he's gonna be the right tackle. That's what it's looking like to me. And I think Mock will probably battle it out with Robert Haynes at the right, and the veteran we brought in will battle it out with Lever at the left. So, but the most important thing is that we are depth at the line, which killed us last year. So
Hainsey, Leverett, Mock. I mean, the names go on. Stinney's back. Walton's back.
We got players, man, and I think with Dave Canellis, I think he's going to put together a very fun to watch offense again. Last year was very boring, and now I think with Baker Mayfield, who can move around a little bit more flexible, probably not getting Kyle Trask out of this. Fans already turned their back, buying the Baker Mayfield jerseys, getting behind them. That's fine. I'm happy with Baker B. This is what we want, competition. But put Trask with the starters, and I'm telling you, you're going to see why we took him in the second round. So Bucs fans, get ready, fire them cannons, and we are going to have a fun season. It's not going to be a boring, it's going to be fun.
Couldn't agree more, Jeremy. And my walk-off and one big thing is the words from John Ledyard saying Payne Durham is a solid blocker who plays the position craftily, gets open despite limited AA and being slow, has some quickness and was surprisingly solid after the catch, has some great contested grabs on his tape if he keeps improving as a blocker. Good number 2 tight end. Canales wants to play more, not a lot, but more out of 13 personnel. So getting a guy who can block and catch was important. 3 guys like that now, especially if less is asked of them as blocker than 2022 offensively. So it's been awesome. Servoke and Dennis now a Buck, as well as a new tight end, Payne Durham. It's been incredible on the Buccateers. It's been J-Lo, a little bit of Huncho and Tampa Tones as well. Until next time on the Buccateers, thanks for joining on our annual Draft Day 3 coverage. You can keep up with us on Twitter at Buccateers, Instagram Buccateers Pod, YouTube Buccateers Podcast. Catch an instant replay on Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, and so much more. Fire the damn cannons, Jeremy. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, brother.
You too, man. God bless, man. Go Bolts.
God bless. Go Bolts tonight. That's right. We got a big Bolts one tonight. Game 6 taking place in Amalie Arena. We got a puck drop with the Toronto Maple Leafs coming to town. Let's hope they could choke for a 200th year in a row.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Go Bucs.
Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.